I think it's pretty obvious that I've been working out a lot during this pandemic. You can follow me on my Instagram, link right up there, to see more of my workout routine just to make you feel worse about yourself. Woo! Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to the Sensu Pop channel. Today we'll be taking a look at maybe the most requested archetype that I've been getting for the BT14 Cross Spirits coming out next month. It is going to be Syn Shenron and the Xeno Shadow Dragons. This deck, it's going to be very interesting though, and it is very unique. This is something that I like about the Dragon Ball Super card game, is that the card designers always try to explore different ways to play the deck. Hey guys, let us talk about the leader. The leader, it's going to be pretty interesting because if you take a look over here, it has blocker, but I'll explain why do we need a blocker later on. So the first auto is this: when you activate a Shadow Dragon extra card, you and your opponent has to mill 1. It is very important for you because for you to awaken, you just need 4 or less life. This is something that you really don't want to do, not in this deck. But then if you have 7 or more Shadow Dragon cards in your drop area, you get to awaken too. And take note, the auto is not once per turn, so every time you activate, your opponent has to mill, and mill. It's mill 1. It's a very slow mill, not like the Janimba type of mill. It feels like it's a very slow mill, but it's still milling. So if you mill something that your opponent needs into the drop area, that is going to be really good. And the second auto is this: whenever you attack, you get to choose 1 Shadow Dragon card from your hand and then you put it into your drop area. That kind of helps you to self-awaken, right? So you want to keep your life as high as possible. Quickly awaken. You get to draw a card, and then at the end of the turn, you get to switch this card to active mode. Because what is a blocker if not it is in active mode? The awaken side, it's going to be pretty similar to the front side. And how does it work? It is a blocker. It is 15k. And a 15k blocker, say it together, it's better than a 10k blocker. And when you activate a Shadow Dragon extra card from your hand, instead of you and your opponent, now it is your opponent, it's going to place the top card of the deck into their drop area. When this card, and take note, it is not once per turn, so every time you do that, your opponent has to do it. So when this card attacks, you get to draw a card and it gets extra 5k for the turn. Unfortunately, not during your opponent's turn. 20k blocker, say it with me, it's better than a 15k blocker, ain't it? However, that's not the case here. We are still going to be staying at a 15k blocker. And at the end of the turn, you get to switch this card to active mode because blocker. So the activate main / battle once per turn, you can use Spirit Boost 1, and Spirit Boost 1, what is it? You get to, it's a new mechanics introduced in Cross Spirit BT14, where instead of just having markers on your Unison card, now you can remove a marker from your Unison card, and then you get to transfer that energy from the Unison card to your whatever card is using Spirit Boost, and then you can activate this ability just for free. You get to choose 1 Shadow Dragon extra card from your hand, and you can activate its activate main and battle skills without paying its energy cost. Simple. Let us take a look at the Unison card. The Unison card, it is going to be Towa Renaissance of Shadow. And how does this work? It's so important for this deck. So it is very vital for us to keep her alive. And thank God, guess what? Your leader, it's a blocker. Take a look at the first auto over here. Whenever your leader activates a blocker skills, this card gains an additional marker. So take a look at this interaction. You play Towa for 1 energy and it gains 1 marker. Then you do a +1 immediately, it becomes 2 marker. And your opponent swings at Towa. Usually what's going to happen here during your opponent's turn when they swing is that it -1 marker. However, once they swing at Towa, you activate your leader's blocker skill, it gains 3 markers immediately. And this is not an extra 1 marker, by the way. The math doesn't work like that. Usually when your opponent swings at your Unison, it is actually a -1. So your Towa at the point of time in any other game should have 1 marker left. However, together with your leader, you are 3 markers, so it is actually a +2 and not a +1. And this is activate main +1. You get to draw a card, then you take 1 card and put it at the bottom of the deck. And additionally, If you want to, you can choose 3 extra cards and put it back into the bottom of the deck. Please make sure you have the 7 cards before you do it. So a lot of extra cards, you can actually recycle them. And the -7, it is very typical of a Syn Shenron. If you understand the, if you know about the yellow Syn Shenron, instead of having the ability on the leader's card, it now transfer for no energy 7 markers, which I believe it's maybe much harder to do, but -7 you get to play up to 7 Black Dragon, Shadow Dragon cards with different characters named from your hand or drop area, and then you get to play them. Alright, we have heard a lot about this Shadow Dragon extra card, so let us take a look at what they are. The first one, it is going to be maybe the most important one in your deck because it provides consistency. Is it going to be the most powerful one? No, it is not the most powerful one. It is going to be Negative Energy Explosion. Activate main/battle. For just 1 energy, you get to look up to top 7 cards from your deck, then you choose 1. You either get to choose 1 Shadow Dragon extra card and put it into your hand, or you get to activate a Towa Unison just like that with 1 marker on it. So what happens if you want a battle card instead of an extra card? This is when Ultimate Whirlwind Spin comes into play. You get some help from Oceanus Shadow Dragon, which is the best Shadow Dragon because cute. Okay, so instead of looking at top 7, you look up to top 5 and you bring a Shadow Dragon battle card into your hand, and it has an additional defensive ability. What does this card do is that you may choose 1 Black Shadow Dragon card and discard it. If you do so, your leader gets an additional 1k. The 1k doesn't make a lot of sense when you want to go aggro, because if you're swinging at 15, your opponent needs 20 to combo out. If you're swinging at 16, your opponent needs 20 to combo out. It doesn't make any sense. However, when it comes to defensive, especially if your leader is a blocker, it is very good. So let's take a look at Shenron and what does he do. Ultimate Dragon Quake. This is a very powerful card though. I would argue that this might be the most powerful one, because what does he do? For activate main/battle, you get to choose 1 of your opponent's battle card with energy cost greater than energy and send it to warp. Take note, it is not just activate main, it is also activate battle. So if your opponent overcommits, you could just tap 1 and send an attacking battle card to their warp, and it is played with the skills negator at the end of the turn. It does not just end there. If your opponent has 15 or less card in their deck, that card cannot even be played. It is put into your drop area. Powerful. Extremely powerful. I'm trying to understand this card though, because it seems to be good. I think we need to play test it. It has the leader of the Shadow Dragons over here, so and it is an SR, so it must be a really good card, right? So I'm trying to understand what is going on here. Let us take a look. Alright, so the first one is the counterplay. When your opponent is playing a Unison card, so it's a counterplay against a Unison card, they may either remove a marker from it for every 2 cards in their drop area, or they place a Unison card in their drop area, so they can choose. If they don't choose that, what's going to happen here is that they can only attack once more per turn. There's a lot of issues with this one. The first one is, if your opponent knows that you're playing this card, what they can do is they can do all the attacking options first. Then after that, they play their Unison. What's preventing you from doing that, right? If they said that this is not your opponent's playing a Unison card, if your opponent's playing a battle card, your opponent needs to remove 2 markers from the Unison, maybe. But this is not the case though. This is just your opponent's playing a Unison card, so it's counterplay against the Unison card. What I would do here is, I'm playing a Shadow Dragon, I'll just play my Unison card next, the last one, and then I'll just swing with my Unison card at the end for the last attack that I can do. So what's the big deal? The second one is the activate main/battle. Your opponent chooses 1 of the battle card with energy cost less than the number of cards in your drop area and send it to its owner's warp. It sounds nice, however, I have to point out 2 big problems with this one. The first one is, of course, your opponent chooses. So if your opponent is going wide, your opponent will just pick 1 card and just say, it's gone, I don't care. The second issue that I have with this, it's that your opponent chooses 1 of their battle cards. So if this is like your opponent chooses up to the battle cards with energy cost equal or greater than the number of cards that they have in their drop area, then that is really good. However, this is not the case though. Your opponent chooses one, but let's argue this is only one energy. The good side about this one is that it's not KOing, so it can remove things that says that it cannot be KO'd. So that's a good part. For one energy, it's versatile. We'll see how does this one work. The last one, it is going to be the adorable dragon Netron, and it is going to be the ultimate dragon tackle. I really like this artwork a lot. I think it's really adorable. Activate main / battle. This is 2 costs instead of 1, so what do you get for this 2 costs? You can activate it for free if you want to, really, with Spirit Boost. Your opponent, if your opponent has a Unison card in play, your opponent gets to choose the top card of the deck and put it, places the top mills one. Okay, let's do that. Your opponent may choose one of the Unison card and remove 2 markers from it. That's a lot though. If they don't, you get to draw a card, then you choose one of their battle card and send it to warp. Good. Pretty good. We are going to be taking a look at one of the most powerful negate or defensive option that you're going to have in this deck itself. So you can see that this deck, it's a lot of defense. It is going to be one of your SR Syn Shenron negative energy explosion. This is a 2 cost negate. When you negate it, you discard a card from your hand, and if you do so, your opponent you get to play this card and your opponent cannot attack for the duration of the turn unless they mill 4 from their deck. They're not going to do it. It's a little bit too risky, especially against a deck that mills. If your leader card is a Shadow Dragon extra card, when you play this card, you get to look up to the top card of the deck. If it's a Shadow Dragon card, it doesn't have to be a battle card, or your extra card, it's also Shadow Dragon, you get to put it into your hand. And also at the same time, you get to play this card, and this card, it's a blocker. So if your opponent decides to commit and go for it just to mill that 4 because it's the early game, your opponent is still gonna face a blocker. So with this blocker on the board, your opponent will just stop it. But do you know what I like about playing a deck? It is definitely gonna be the battle cards. Few cards are okay because they stay on the field, but extra cards not really because they always go into the drop. I don't really like that. Every single battle card in this deck has the ability to replenish themselves, because if they are being played or discarded by their a Shadow Dragon skill, you get to look up to the top card of your deck. If it's a Shadow Dragon card, you get to put it into your hand. If not, back into the bottom of your deck. Every single battle card in this deck has it. So I'm not going to explain any more of this, okay? So activate main once per turn. You tap 1, you switch this card to rest mode. You get to choose 1 card that is 3 Shadow Dragon, and then you play it. This is very important because you kind of need to cheat them out for 1 energy. The first one maybe could be one of the most powerful one. It is going to be Syn Shenron negative energy explosion. It is a critical blocker, and it has the auto that we said. It replenishes itself. When this card attacks, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle card and send it to warp. At the end of turn, it comes back active. 15k critical blocker, why not? And send one of your opponent's battle card to warp. Really good. The next one is Netron Xeno negative energy explosion, deflect blocker, 20k. So if you want to, you can swing with it. When this card is played from your hand, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle card with energy 5 or less from the battle area or drop area, and this card gains the skill of that stuff. So if you want to go for triple strike, maybe aim for something with triple strike. However, if you want to aim something with barrier, I think you choose something with barrier in their drop area, because the barrier doesn't work anymore, and then you absorb it, and this one becomes a 20k blocker. However, we do have to talk about Syn Shenron himself, ain't it? So the first one, this is going to be a promo, but this is a very easy promo to get because it is from the premium boxes. When your it also has the auto, the activate main / battle with Spirit Boost. You kind of have to use Spirit Boost. You get to choose one of your Shadow Dragon extra card, and then you can activate it without paying its cost. I'm not too sure how good it is, thinking that it needs a Spirit Boost 1, because how many markers do you have from your total array? I really need to play test this. However, this artwork itself, it's crazy. But let us take a look at the 3-drop Syn Shenron Power of Darkness. Whenever you activate a Shadow Dragon extra card, you can tap 1 and then you can play this. So you don't have to play with a Syn Shenron Shadow Dragon skill. When your leader card is a Shadow, this is just a 20k double striker. So let us take a look at maybe one of the most powerful cards in this game, which is Syn Shenron Negative Energy Explosion. For 4, it has Deflect, Double Strike, Barrier, Blocker, 20k. Again, it has the auto, but the activate main/battle. Once per turn, switch this card to active mode. Your opponent places a top card from your deck to their drop, they mill 1, and then you get to choose 1 extra card from your hand and activate its battle course without paying its energy. This is simply crazy, but it is Spirit Boost 1. Like I said, I don't know how many times can you do it, but if you want to, you can do it though. So you can use it as a blocker, then it restands because it's activate main/battle. Then you get an additional blocker, and then you get a additional you get to activate one of your cards, extra card, just like that. So basically, this is a deck itself. This is something that I really want to play. I want to test it out, so I'm gonna give this a little spin. But however, take note, this is also an incomplete deck because we know a lot of Shadow Dragons are not coming in soon. Hey guys, I hope you liked this explanation video. It took me some time to get this thing going, but I think I'm gonna like this deck. What should I do next though? Put it down in the comment section. I'll read it, I'll reply to you, and let's have a conversation over there. Alright, so stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy playing the Dragon Ball Super card game. I hope you're okay. See you guys in the next video. Ciao.